Welcome to Downshift. My name is Matt. I'm here with the Polestar 2, and today's video is going to look a little bit different for two reasons. One, I'm here at Road America testing anything and everything I can get my hands on, so speed and agility is the name of the game, and that unfortunately comes at some of the production quality that you're used to seeing here on the channel. And secondly, we're trying a little bit new format, so at the end of the video, leave a comment if you like what you saw, but let's get into the Polestar 2. We're going to hit all of the coolest features on the new Polestar 2, and the first thing that we're going to talk about is don't call it a Volvo. This is kind of Volvo's spin-off brand, but it's branded Polestar. Polestar used to be Volvo's kind of AMG division or M division, and now it's their fully electric division. And even still, aside from that little sticker we see here, there's really no mention of the word Polestar anywhere, but there are a bunch of Polestar logos all around the car. Not even on the back here, but we do have the logo. Kind of crazy. And I want to make sure I cover the EV stuff. All Polestar 2s come with dual motor all-wheel drive as standard, which is awesome for us here in the snowy climates of Wisconsin. And here we get about 235 miles of range, can be up to about 260, so pretty decent at that 260 number. And number three, I want to talk about how you start the car. There is no start-stop button, so you come in, you sit down, foot on the brake, and then you take this cool Scandinavian thing and you flick it down. And now you're in drive and you're ready to go. And the same thing when you're done, park, and then just leave the car. Close it up, walk away, it'll lock itself up, and you're done. And next I want to talk about the key. Now as you can see, it's basically just a black rectangle for the key itself. You can get an activity key that basically just looks like a USB stick, and that's the activity key that's waterproof up to 30 feet. I'm wondering if the credit card style activity key would be waterproof to forever. I don't know. And this is a little difficult to see, but I'm on top of the roof, and right here you can kind of see that there is a Polestar logo and it's lit up. So I don't know who this is for, drones, but kind of cool. And then I want to talk about this center screen here. It is vertically oriented, as we're kind of used to seeing now. And as a McLaren F1 fan, I'm really triggered by this P1 being up here in the top right corner. But of course, P1 just means driver profile 1. But this little cube set, that is your home screen. So you've got maps and all sorts of widgets and stuff over here. You do have a performance page where you can track your launch performance from 0 to 30, 60, and 70. And of course, you've got a G meter. So if you are going to get on it, this is a good place to look. This is also built in with Google, so you can talk to Google, you can go to the Play Store, you can use your assistant, it's got Amazon built into it, and of course you can tell Google that you want it to prioritize Spotify or something like that, and of course you still have Apple CarPlay right there. And then if you go over here into your car, you can adjust how you want your steering to feel, how you want your one-pedal drive to respond, and if you want creep on or off. And then of course you've got your driver assist screens here, your charge status and all that sort of stuff, and then more general settings in here. Now I want to draw your attention to the wing mirror here. You see how there's absolutely no bezel on the outside? Well, that's because when you select this and you adjust it, the entire housing moves, not just the glass. I'm wondering if that has anything to do or has any effect on the EV range. And now I just kind of want to talk about the interior materials as a whole. Now, I know I'm not going to say that this is Volvo, but it's Volvo-esque in the sense that you have really cool, unconventional materials. You have this interesting kind of fabric upper here. You've got like a wool center dash. This is almost like a birch white tree. It's open pore. I love open pore wood. People keep doing it. And then of course you've got this like button here as if it's almost like a pair of pants. More kind of cloth, leather, stitching, aluminum. I mean, it's just really, really nice in here. Not to mention, look at this awesome design you have on these heated and cooled seats. Freaking sweet. And now trunk stuff. Your release is down here in your lower bumper, which is kind of annoying. Your fingers are going to get dirty in the winter, but you can of course open it from the interior. But you see it's not really a trunk, it is a hatch. So this kind of splits the difference a little bit from the Model 3 to the Model Y, at least in terms of trunk. So you have a hatch, of course the the car is raised up a little bit, so you have kind of that little in between. So it's not really a sedan, it's not really an SUV, it's kind of the best of both worlds in that way. But it's nice and deep. Again, we use this to measure, and anything past about here is a pretty deep trunk and very practical. You've got netting and stuff in here. You've got another little tie down there. Your seats fold 60-40 with a little ski pass through because that's very Swedish. And of course, underneath here, you've got a cavern for your charging ports. And the last thing that I'll show you is the secret opening divider that you can get here. And then I want to talk about this cup holder here. You can see that you only get a single cup holder here. Incorrect. You have a second cup holder here, but it is hidden away. So it's kind of like the Nissan Z in that way. One is ready at all times, and then if you don't want to rest your elbow anywhere, you can have two. I guess nice. And then we'll check out the rear seats. Again, awesome materials in your door card here. Love the white leather. It continues with the cool perforation and patterning. It almost looks like if the front dash was birch wood, this is almost like the leaves on the birch tree. But you get in. I'm 6'1". Another inch or two of knee room, pretty good. You've got vents back here, heated seats back here, some chargers. I mean, it is pretty nice. Of course, you've got a panoramic roof, and then headroom. I'm good. You also have a totally digital instrument cluster that is super nice, really responsive, great graphics, and you can get the whole thing as a map. Pretty cool. And the last thing I'll talk about is a bit weird, but I want to talk about the knobs because they're important. This is your volume knob, and look, it's got like a shattered crystal effect on there. Really, really cool. That's very satisfying to use. And then your vents have physical knobs, unlike something like a, I don't know, Tesla or Rivian. People love to have knobs for their air vents, people. Good job, Polestar. So there you have it. Those are the 14 coolest features of the Polestar 2. Now we're gonna get that key, that rectangle, and go for a drive. All right, behind the wheel of the Polestar 2, this seems to be the only designation that I can find of a sport mode, which just turns traction off. This does have all-wheel drive, as we talked about, so foot on the brake, power, let it roll. Oh, it's plenty quick. We've got over 400 horsepower here and over 500 pound-feet of torque. This thing will do 0 to 60 in the mid 4 seconds. The thing that I did notice there is right about 60 miles, oh geez. Right about 60 miles an hour there, 65, getting a lot of wind noise over the A-pillars here. So that's something that I don't love, but still, this is just really quick, really quick. Okay, we're gonna turn sport mode off. Because one of the things that I like about some of the other EVs is just how they can like kind of naturally roll on power and feel really smooth. This does a good job of feeling aggressive and quick. But let's see how it does smooth. Oh, it still wants to be it still wants to be quick. So of course you can control that with your own feet, obviously, how finessed you want to be with your feet. But if you want something with a little bit of punch, a little bit of spice, this is it. Get a little bit squirrely there. Yeah, this is fun. I like it. I like that it's smooth too. The steering has a nice weight to it. Of course, even in standard, this has a nice kind of like sporty, hefty, substantial feel to it. Let's change it to light. Oh, big difference. Okay, and then firm. I think standard's probably my favorite. But I really like how kind of just nice it is. It feels modern, it feels clean. I like the wood on the interior here. Now we do need to talk about the EV thing though. So like I said, this thing gets somewhere between, depending on how you spec it, 235 miles, 260 miles of range. Dual motor, all-wheel drive, sure, great. The question becomes, why would you buy this over a Tesla? And the reason that I have to bring that up is because these things start at about $60,000. Which is kind of expensive considering the range, and sure, you get loads of horsepower, it's really quick, it's fun, it's different. This is a genuinely luxury interior. I'd love it if we could stop pretending that Model 3 and Model Ys are luxury cars. They're not. This is a genuine luxury experience. I like this a lot more. This is worth the money. But the Model 3 starts at 40 grand versus 60 here. The Model Y comes in starts at 47,000, so still over 10 grand less than this car. And I think that just starts to become kind of a hard pill to swallow when you get to the part where your wallet comes out. You know, at the end of the day, we all have to be able to afford the car. This, I would much rather be in this than a Model Y. My wife and I, we just test drove a Model Y, and the ride shattered my spine. I now have to go back to my chiropractor because of my test drive in the Model Y. Model 3, kind of similar. So this, the damping is worlds better, the steering and everything is a lot more comfortable. It's an easier learning experience or learning curve here than getting in the Tesla. I like having a gauge cluster. You know, some of those things make this for me a better vehicle. But you do pay for it. But I don't know. I might look for some pennies underneath the couch cushions because this could be worth it over something like a Model Y. So I'm impressed. It's not perfect, but I'm impressed with this Polestar 2. This is pretty cool. Oh, and pretty quick.